One of the keys to the efficiency, effectiveness, and sustainability of America's transportation system, given the expanding population, resource constraints, and energy and climate realities of the 21st century, will be to revive and expand the U.S. passenger train network. But what will it take to break the policy deadlock that relegates passenger trains to third-class status in our transportation network? In an attempt to answer this question, I embarked on a transcontinental train trip with 24 creative and civically engaged fellow millennials and accomplished mentors. I asked them to share their thoughts. One theme that emerged is the value of the train travel experience as a way to unplug and reconnect with people and landscape. Here's some of what I heard.
I believe very strongly that travel is a whole bunch more than just locomotion. But the locomotion that trains bring you is, it brings you intimacy, as you all can tell from this. And it brings you really a way of experiencing place. And that's largely what we're about at the National Geographic.
I really enjoyed the process this morning of not having to deal with TSA and big long lines and everything. You just kind of hop on your train and you have your bed too. You know, you'd have to pay tens of thousands of dollars or thousands of dollars to have the bed on the airplane. And it's just really been a pleasant experience so far. And the sound of the train, the gentle rocking, is pretty soothing. And you know, just seeing things, taking it by rail has allowed me to see things I've never seen before.
I think if I was driving across the country, I would sort of, plan my own route and have my own ideas for what cities I would choose, and having sort of this overall route dictated a little bit is interesting, because you have to let yourself go to a certain extent. You have to lose a certain amount of agency and just let the train take you where it's going to take you.
Trains can connect people in ways that a bus or an airplane or a car trip just really can't. One, you're sort of physically forced to work together on the train while it's traveling, but you're also able to connect to the world around you in a way that a plane doesn't. The way the trains go through the landscape and everything is just connects you to the earth and to one another. In really awesome, positive ways. Most of the time, I've taken the train ride to go visit family or with family, and having that experience where you're sort of all together. You can do that in a car, but it feels a little bit more constrained, I would say, in a car. An airplane usually serves to get you to a location, where a train is part of the adventure.
Using the train journeys were also an important part of our independence struggle. Like, people used to travel in the trains for all the protests and the marches and everything. So even Mahatma Gandhi got his idea on the train journey. That's when he started thinking about that India should get independence and so on. And so that so trains are like sort of an instrumental part for social change even in India. This is really famous quote by somebody, I don't remember, but I really love this. If you wanna travel through America and not see America, use the interstate. Because interstate really is amazing if you want to just get up from point A to point B. But I think if you really want to experience America, get to see its landscapes, get to see all these beautiful cornfields and all these amazing experiences, and one should really spend time in the train, because obviously in the air you don't even see anything in the airplanes, but in the trains you actually get the time to sort of spend time with your own self,
So the idea of being disconnected actually appealed to me, because actually reading a recent Fast Company, the subject of the whole issue was about unplugging, and to me, being able to take a train and be unplugged and disconnected from the rest of the world with a lot of like-minded people in a very closed and very captive environment seemed like something that it's kind of maybe a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So, and do it while I'm young so that I can really appreciate, the landscape and the world world around me. I usually take the express train. It's 44 minutes, and it's always kind of time for me to kind of like, again, unplug, which is so weird because it's just 44 minutes, but it's like a really, I actually look forward to going on the train to be able to kind of disconnect from things for 44 minutes. It lets me, it's the only time I'm ever able to read. I guess market it as somewhere where you can kind of escape this crazy world of information overload and always having to check your phone every 5 seconds and feel like you have the, you know, the FOMO, the fear of missing out on things. This is the one time I have, the only FOMO I've had on this trip is missing out on seeing something beautiful out a window because I have my shade down in my room because I'm trying to sleep at night, and like there's times when I wake up in the middle of the night and I like have to like pull the shade up in my like little train car because I'm like, oh crap, what if I'm missing something right now that's out the window? And it's the first time I've kind of had that, instead of basically pulling out my phone to make sure I didn't feel like it vibrate because of text came through, I'm pulling up a window to look at the beautiful landscape outside. You know,
I think I started to feel it most strongly yesterday evening when we were just leaving Denver, because I had sort of, you know, spent a lot of time in San Francisco. I've driven through but not really stopped in Salt Lake City, so I sort of have seen it a little bit, and I've been to Denver a couple of times, and when we were driving out, it sort of struck me right as, you know, as we were getting settled down from our days and everything, that this was somewhere that I had never been before, and like fundamentally, I had never even seen. I hadn't even been in the approximate region. It was just like it was a totally new experience. And I was looking out, and I remember thinking to myself, that really looks like a really high resolution desktop wallpaper out there in the field that I'm seeing. But you know, wait a minute, this is higher resolution than any picture that you can get. And I just sort of sat there transfixed, sort of watching things go by.
I don't know, I'm hoping that our kind of our culture is moving more in that direction where they kind of want to breathe, I guess. And I think that's what the trains allowed me to do, and visit places I would have never otherwise got to.
Upon now, Francie. Countryside people have met, we don't really see how one that's the United States of America is. It is just fascinating.
Do you think it's an experience more Americans need to have?
I really do. Really get to see the countryside.
This ride was an experience.
Sure.
It definitely was an experience, especially the restrooms.
But you enjoy getting to see the country?
I really enjoyed myself, yes. The hopping off and on the train, it was very convenient. Very convenient for us just to go to hop off and on the train as we wanted to. Had we gone by plane, it would have cost a lot more. So that was a very good convenience. And like she said, looking at the countryside, I didn't realize how widespread the country was.
You can really say American the beautiful. Travel by train.
I'm Malcolm Kenton. Join me for future installments of Revitalizing America Through Trains as I continue to explore the conditions needed to bring about an American passenger train renaissance.